All right. Good morning, everybody. We are live with Save 22 Tuesday Talk, and I am talking through a black screen because my camera quit working this morning about a minute before I click the go live button. And it's a setting somewhere, I'm sure. So this morning we got Albert Wooden. I'm going to let Albert take this off. He's going to go, and I'm going to work on my camera. So go for it, Al.
So today we're going to talk about, our hike's coming up this weekend. And it's in Massillon, Ohio. Registration starts at 7 or 7:30, I believe. Ceremonies will start about 9, and we're stepping off at 10. It's a nice little walk through downtown Massillon, through some of the back streets, and then we come back into Duncan Plaza and we all hang out. So it's a really, really good time, man. And just to, put it in perspective of, we've been doing this since 2015. Like, that's when the idea came about. We missed one hike because of COVID, or this would be our 10th hike this year. So it's technically our 9th hike, but our 10th year of doing what we do. And, the growth and the things that we were talking about, over the past few days, John, just with, how far we've come with just the programs, being able to take over 300 and I don't know, over 300 veterans already this year to events, and letting them have unique opportunities through NASCAR, through golf, through fishing, through our hike coming up. It's been a humbling experience to watch how far we've come and what we've been able to do with just such a small group and such a small budget. And that's because of the partners and the outreach we have and the people behind the scenes that are doing all of these amazing things, man, to keep us where we need to be. So thank you to anybody that's ever done anything over the past 10 years. Thank you is not the word. I don't know what the word is. And I was talking to Lex and Gerda and Charlotte this past weekend, and I said, I feel like thank you is such not a good word to use. Like, I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to get across. And Gerda says, how about you just look at me and say, I love you. So I guess that's kind of where we're at, man. We love you guys. Like, really, truly appreciate everything, because without it, we wouldn't be where we're at. We just wouldn't. We would have probably folded a long time ago, but we keep pushing, we keep pushing, and we keep pushing. So I'm hoping to be around for another 10 years. That would be phenomenal. I'd love to be completely out of business for sure. So
And I want to be clear, when we say we want to be out of business, it's because no veteran ever feels alone, and everybody can.
yeah, and when we brought Tom in here, so Tom can speak a little bit on his perspective of the past 10 years and kind of what he's seen.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just make sure because I haven't had this stuff set up forever. I was relearning this morning, but man, the last 10 years, go from hoping that you have 100 people hike the first year to 1,400 people being there to fast forward to now where we're downtown Massillon using up a whole city street, a whole block, basically to ourselves. It's amazing. And what's really amazing is to watch the programs that have been built, like the motorsports program that you and Johnny work with so hard. I mean, that's an amazing program. I'm always blown away to see our logo go around the track, um, or just to see the veterans in the pits with the drivers, with the team. Um, I know I've had personal experiences with Lex in Indy and in Virginia Nats last year. And you want to talk about a top notch team when it comes to supporting veterans, first responders. Lex really goes out of his way to make sure you have the best experience. I can't speak about the others because I haven't witnessed those programs. Fishing program, man, the bonds that are made on fishing trips last a lifetime. And I've seen it happen just recently where, you know, vets who are on fishing trips are helping the other vets that they're on fishing trips with because they created those bonds. And I mean, that's a strong bond to be made in a in a 4 or 5 hour period.
Right. It is. It is. So what you got going on for the hike, Tom? Tell us about the hike, buddy.
We got us. We have a
Make
few
sure my
guest
information was
speakers.
correct.
Yes, 7 o'clock is registration. 9 o'clock opening ceremonies. 10 o'clock we will step off. Um, by the time we return, we have some raffle baskets, 50-50. We'll just have a good time. I know that the Army, the Army, Marine Corps, and Air Force have committed to coming um, to bring their future airmen, Marines, and soldiers. So this will be interesting for them to
Yeah.
get to. It gives them a chance to see that you're going to do this, but this is bigger than you.
Right.
So um, this is bigger than you thought that you were getting into. This is afterwards. You are still, really that
Yeah.
member.
And that's what's really cool too about the hike too, in my opinion, is you see the bonds that are formed at the hike. You see those small side conversations, right? And then you see the next year the same families show up with a few other people, then a few other people, and a few other people. It's kind of like their day too, to have that memory, to have that minute, right? To have that walk, to share those stories, right? Because without the stories, they're dead, really gone. They're gone, right? As long as we keep those stories alive and keep talking about people and celebrating. Honestly, it sucks, but we look back, you and I with Dustin,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about him often,
Mm-hmm.
and
Even
sometimes we
recently.
cry, sometimes we laugh, it's
Even
just
recently. I mean, it
yeah,
was.
yeah. And
uh,
that's what I'm getting at. It like the hike it's another way of, I see it as another way of healing, right?
you want
You
to
get to
see
go
some
out there.
powerful stuff.
Yep.
To the people out there, if you guys want to see some powerful stuff, come out to the hike Saturday. Come out to the
Yeah.
end. If you can't hike, be there for the end, because I know for the last 4 or 5 years, the very end of the hike has been so powerful with John, who finishes last, our Vietnam vet, who does not ever give up. Um, to watch the people line the walkway and surround and make a nice walkway for him to come back and welcome him home every year. That you want to see something powerful, you go watch that. Hey,
Yeah, you're right, Tom. And I've kind of been told not to walk the past several years, but I always make a point to go out and find John. Um, and I try to get a ride out to him and walk that last little bit with him. But this year, I've been working hard to be able to walk. I'm going to use my rollator, and I'm going to walk it this year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Bringing some guys up from the Carolinas with me, so I think it's important to make sure that I'm out there this year. I'm going to try it.
and that's awesome, because I don't think you have walked since year 2.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a lot of issues, but we're through them, and keep working and keep going, and we'll make it, man. We'll figure it out. And if I can't, you know what? I know old Moose Knuckle will be back there to pick us up.
Oh, he hasn't
Old Isaiah.
texted me back all week. He's getting me nervous.
Who? Isaiah?
Isaiah, he hasn't texted me back all week. He's got me
Oh,
nervous. This is
well,
the way he gets back at me, though, because I
But
send him all kinds of things.
but
nice. Well, hey, I wanted to talk real quick. We're talking about the hike and getting together and how special it is. You talked about Justin. I want to give a quick shout out to John Setman, a friend of me, a friend of the show, Leathernecks. He lost his brother to suicide yesterday. And one of the first things he did was post about Safe 22 and Straight Talk. So big hugs, big love to John Setman and his brother. And the family and what they're going through right now. And then we just got a phone call this morning about our friend Mark Grimm, who lost his
Mhm.
father yesterday. So,
yeah.
we're thinking about those guys. Absolutely, we've all lost someone like that and it's not an easy transition sometimes. So, when we say you're struggling, let's talk about it. It could be as simple as that. And I know that the death of a brother or a father is not simple. Trust me, I know that. I struggled very mightily with my own dad's passing. So, that's what we talk about when we say, are you struggling? Come out and be around other people. Don't sit in your home and dwell on the negatives, right? There's so much more out there for you. That's why we have these programs. That's why we do this hike. Come out and see what's available. Look at all the other nonprofits that are going to be there, right? The Veteran Service Commission is going to be there. The Vet Center, Sam Center, who else? Benchcraft Studio, who is a veteran-owned knickknack place for engraving and touring. And Tommy, you know the list better than I do. Who else you got coming?
Silent Watch, which is a phenomenal organization. They pay for veterans to go get a PTSD shot, SBG.
Well, that's not all
Nerve
they do,
block.
right? What were
No,
they
but
started as?
they start off as they bring a soldier's, they say it's a soldier's coffin, and you stand a 15-minute watch, and that's to raise awareness to veteran suicide. So there, Tim Chandler, he's going to speak at the hike. He's going to give us 3 minutes about his organization, what they do.
Nice.
They've helped out quite a few veterans with us getting them to get a shot, and in fact, we got one going here soon. Another one that we've sent their way. So we have a very good partnership with Silent Watch.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. We were going to have Goat Locker and Patrick Drabeck. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Patrick and Senior Chief Drabeck and Goat Locker. They were supposed to come and be our keynote speaker. Unfortunately, Pat's going through some health issues right now. We'll just call it that, and he's battling with his own stuff. So big shout out to Pat and Senior Chief and the Goat Locker team. Get better, buddy. Figure out what's going on with you. Take care of yourself. And we'll see you when we see you. We got a lot of events coming up over in Indy. We got Norwalk up here. We'll get you back around again, my friend. But take care of yourself. That's another
Definitely
veteran
will.
organization, nonprofit that's doing amazing things in the state of Indiana and all over the country with sim racing. Actually, they provide sim racing rigs and services to veterans to be available to sim race. Sim racing has turned into this worldwide deal. I mean, even Formula One guys are sim racing, NASCAR guys, all these guys use it for practice now because they've limited track time and things, and the services are so amazing. You guys should really check them out. GoatLockerRacing.org, right? Yeah, GoatLockerRacing.org. I
Yep.
got it. It's right here. We'll put that one up. Look, GoatLockerRacing.org. We'll put that right down at the bottom and have that check out. Ryan Roulette messaged me yesterday, and somebody's got some feedback happening in their headsets.
Hold on, I gotta go shut off this air conditioner kicked on in here. I hijacked the store for the day, so
No, you stay right there. We'll take care of that real quick. Let me get rid of this. Go back over here. Do that, and now he's back. All right, cool. So we've got about 5 or 10 more minutes. I want to talk about this hike. Let's talk about real quick how it started. What was going through your mind when you made that call to Jason? What's so funny? What's going on?
I'm laughing because I already know where this is going.
Oh, what? Well, you know what? We all know the story, right? But for
Yeah.
the 6 people that are watching right now, right?
the six.
Like,
Okay,
like,
so
tell it what happened. I want to know what happened, right? What
do you
happened
want to
that
go from
you?
the very beginning of the dark spot
No,
to now?
no.
I mean,
I want to listen to the
I have
question,
no problem.
Tommy. Listen to the question, Tommy. What was going on in your life that you had to make a phone call to Jason and say, we need to start this Save 22 and get Albert over here on the back porch? What happened? What was the deciding factor that said, I've had enough of this?
Well, okay. So I was called out on some bullshit. How was that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, we all have been, right?
I was
That's why
drunk
we're
at a
all
Marine
still
Corps.
here.
I was drunk at a Marine Corps ball. Said, "Hey, I want to do this hike. I want to do this," and I joked around. I said, "I'll walk in a kilt, silkies, whatever." And my buddy Eddie McLean here in Carrollton took it very, very seriously. because 2 months later, after I had that thought that I was going to do this because I had seen it somewhere else on Facebook, he says, "Hey, Tom, aren't you?" And he posted it on Facebook. "Tom, aren't you going to do that hike that you talked about?" And I was like, "Oh man." So that night, I called Jason up. I said, "Hey, I got this idea." And I said, let's do this and see how many people show up." And Jason was on board, and then Nick Trussell was on board. But then I did something really, really crazy. At the time, for me, I've never was a person to be on video or talk or post things about me on Facebook like that. I did a video in my garage, calling out Arlie Ermy, and at the time it was an influencer by the name of Tanksley, or I can't remember his name now because but anyways, 18,000 views later and 14,000 shares. We really got a problem. So Albert comes in to help us out, and we get this hike set up. I'm still only thinking 100 people, but when we set it up and the bus after bus after bus rolled in to the VFW that day to hike back to the fairgrounds, I knew that we had something special, but I didn't know it would be this where we're at now. So yeah, there was a little bit of insanity when I started this and being called out on my bullshit.
Yeah, we were honestly planning on, like, I don't know. I think we had like 300 to 500 is what we thought, and I cannot remember the final count. I know it was well over 1,000.
The number that I've been told, because I wasn't at the first one, right? I didn't come to you guys till 6 months later, but we'll get to that. But that first hike, I'm told it was upwards around 1,500 people.
I would say that's pretty accurate.
And that was with no registration, no promotion, no anything, right? That was just a couple videos on Facebook, right? Or where, I don't even know where you were doing it, because I don't think we had Tiki-Tac back then. So that was just
Facebook. It was Facebook.
Well, fast forward, right? That was just a hike. That was just get some people together and take a walk, right? And 6 months later, I came in and you guys were doing a dam run, the best damn motorcycle
poker run.
Best damn poker run, and it was down at Atwood Lodge, or not at the lodge, at the Atwood Lake at the marina. And I don't remember. It wasn't very many bikes. Might have been 10 or 12. It wasn't a lot, if I remember right. But I was pretty effed up that day.
There was more than that. But
oh, really?
In your group, there might have been 10, but there was probably closer to 50 for that one. It was
a
pretty big ride. Yeah, it was a pretty good ride.
I want people to think about this. When you're going through your shit, you can't see any further than what's in front of your face, right? That's all you can see. And I was so focused on just riding the event and not crashing. Let's put it that way, right? I'll stay in the back. I'm riding. I'm not getting any cards. I'm not doing any of that shit. And when we pulled back into the marina, there was food, there was music, there was tables, there was tents, there was people, there was a lot of camaraderie, and I felt out of place. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. Thank you for the ride, right? I'm okay right now. I'm gonna go home. I'll talk later. And man, I don't remember how long it was after that, but I spent some time on the phone with Tommy every day, just working through my own shit, right? And it took a couple years, I think, before I came down to a hike. I don't remember what happened, but we got too big for Carroll County. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but the hike got too big for Carroll County, and we had to move it. And I want to say it was 6 years down in Carroll County, maybe 7.
6 sounds right, because this will be 9.
I don't remember. So,
10,
10 actually.
Right.
So yeah. Then we moved up into Massillon. We were at the Eagles Club in Massillon. We thought it was going to be a great spot. Turned out not to be. It looked great, right? We were right off the highway, right off of 21. Big parking lot we were in. The logistics were it was very difficult that year. The next year, we got a new mayor down in Massillon. He wanted to have us back. He gave us a whole lot more support. Man, can't say enough about the mayor of Massillon. The city of Massillon the first responders down there, the trash services, everybody down in downtown Massillon now with the current mayor have just been incredibly supportive of us. They've given us Duncan Plaza, which if you don't know about Duncan Plaza, has a Veterans Memorial at the plaza. A judge down there, that was one of his pet projects, I guess you'd call it, that he got installed. Eddie Elam, real good friend of ours, right? I've known Eddie a long time. He helped me with the adoption of my daughter. That's how long I've known Judge Elam. And then where are we going? We're crossing Lincoln Way now. We have 2.2 miles for the hike, right? Very significant for us. The city planners have done a phenomenal job and are going to utilize a much more compact area, but hit more people, if that makes sense. So, man, big ups to Massillon, all of our supporters. Tom, do you want to mention any of the partners that have come in and contributed right now before we let you go?
Right now it is the American Legion Post in Massillon, and the Sons of American Legion Post in Massillon have really
We don't
kicked
have to
in
give
for
out
this.
the money, but yeah, we don't have to talk about the money, just the partnership.
This year's
Yeah,
hike, they've kicked in big time for this year's hike.
awesome.
They have been very supportive, and there is a BMW dealership that is working on something right now, so I can't really, but
More to follow.
More
more
to
to
follow.
follow.
Yeah.
There's
And
more to
Tom,
come. There's more to
Right.
come. It's
Tom,
always
I
fluid.
That's
Tom,
what
I
we
got a
always say.
text from our fully promoted in Canton. Shirts have all been shipped, and ours.
Wait. I was gonna say something because somebody in this group is not
I
like
see
the
that.
other,
I see that.
and I was gonna mention that. So you bring this up, and there's Johnny sitting with the new
Well,
shirt on, and I love it.
And we just
Well,
got the text. So
I just mentioned it on the live promo for Tuesday Talk this morning. I said I got my shirts yesterday. You all should have yours. Mike just texts in today and says, "Hey, they're all
Come pick
shipped.
your stuff.
Everybody should have them."
Yep. Anybody that needs pickup needs to go to the store and get it.
Right?
Mhm.
Pickup. You need to go to the store and get it. We will not be having any at the hike. Is that correct?
We will have a very, very, very small amount at the
Okay.
hike.
Let's rephrase that. We ain't gonna have many.
You're not gonna have a whole lot.
Right.
Put it
If you're
forward.
not there at 7 o'clock, you're probably gonna be out. That's
Well,
or 8
I don't.
o'clock. If you're
I was gonna
by
say,
8.
let's not tell people to be there at 7 o'clock because ain't none of us ready at 7 o'clock.
No.
Right. So
That's
let's
when
be clear
registration
here.
starts. But
Yeah, with this hike, volunteers are going to show up at 6:30, vendors by 6:30, and we're going to try to have everything set up and ready to go by 7 o'clock.
vendors
For
start at 6.
vendors start at 6. Well, you handling the vendors and the volunteers.
I am. That's why I'm saying vendors and volunteers are just.
Vendors and volunteers at 6 o'clock start showing up. Right. We should have the roads won't be blocked until right before we start the hike part. First Street will be blocked off starting at 6.
6.
Volunteers are asked to park where, Tom?
It's the city parking lot there. That's
Yeah.
what we have. We have the sitting parking lot, and you have the hotel that has the parking deck, which is about a block or half a block. That's the Hyatt downtown Massillon, and then there is
Hyatt
a
or the
couple other.
Hampton?
I think it changed to the Hyatt,
Okay.
is what they were saying. But you can't miss the parking garage downtown
Can't miss
Massillon,
it.
and then there's other city parking lots around the area to park at. It's very accessible to Duncan Plaza.
Nice. Very good. So we're going to be there Saturday morning. We're going to be there around 6 a.m. We're going to start registration at 7. Please, I cannot emphasize enough to do it online first. Do not show up Saturday morning and expect to register. It could be a cluster. So do it right here below, save22.vet. The first pop-up you get is going to say register for the hike or be a vendor. We've closed down vendor registration, so no more vendors. And then I think there's one more on there. There's 3 blurbs you can get, but
the
volunteer, that's what it is, right?
But I won't turn you down the day of if you come up and say, "Hey, can I help
Yeah.
with something?"
No, not at all. We're not going to turn you down. These are the 10th anniversary shirts. We'll do a quick show real quick. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh yeah.
There's our 10th
stand up a little
anniversary
bit.
shirt.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Shake it a little bit.
No, stop. There is no shaking. Right. There is no shaking. There is
Yeah.
no shaking.
It doesn't shake anymore.
Tommy, thank you for joining us this morning, telling us a little bit about where it started and where it's going. Go back to your store, and thanks for taking 20 minutes with us this morning.
Hey, look, I didn't even open the store today. I got it closed for now. I got other things to do today, but I appreciate you guys having me on. Hey, anytime. I'm retired now. Got a little bit more free time.
Congratulations.
So, you
Yeah.
guys want to,
Welcome to the club.
yeah. Albert's talking about wanting to walk. He's going to walk this year, but I'm waiting to make my decision for Saturday. I'll let everybody know Saturday.
I think
Take
you're
a
still too
wheelchair.
fresh.
You know you got where I'm going with this, guys.
Yeah. We're good.
Chuck's over here
All
talking
right.
about the glare off my head, so we're gonna go. Tommy, thanks for joining us this morning. We're
Thank
gonna
you,
talk
guys.
about some motorsport stuff. We'll see you later, buddy.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Tom.
guys. Bye.
All right, buddy. All right.
All right. Well, that was Tom Indorf, the guy with the idea, and here we are now, 10 years later. And man, talk about some motorsports stuff. You started off with the motorsports program years ago, right? And that was, tell me about that, because the way
So
that started is crazy.
it was an absolute chance happening.
Yeah.
Been watching NASCAR my whole life. Got it from my uncle, who was a Vietnam vet. It was kind of one of those deals. You didn't walk in front of the TV. You sat down in front of the floor console. You ate your popcorn and apples and was quiet during the race. So I've been around it, watched it. Midville was a big part of my life. It was for a few years growing up as a kid. Very involved with the racing down there.
What years was that?
So that would have been like 70. I'm going to date myself here.
That's
like
all right, because
70,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, like 78, 79, 80,
Yeah.
right in there. Mike Dawson, he ran the Fat Cat, the #1 Ewing Camaro. Yep.
Sure. Dan
Yep.
Radanovich, Chunky.
Yep.
Yeah. Bob Barkheimer.
So that's kind of where it started for me.
Yeah. Roger Long.
And then good family friend Steve Loomis, volunteer firefighter back in our hometown. We used to go to the drag races every year. Then my stepdad and I used to go every year. We'd go down to Great Trails, the Nationals, and just being around it. I was a Bob Glidden fan, huge Bob Glidden fan.
Oh,
so
yeah.
again, you're just watching races, right? And I'm watching NASCAR, the Xfinity race at Watkins Glen, because I had friends over there at that day anyway. Well, Nick happened to be over there, and I saw Mike Harmon's car kind of go through qualifying, and I'm like, that's a cool looking car, because he had it all labeled up for first responders, military, all of it. And I told Nick, I said, you need to go find this car and just take a picture. So I see that the person that posted it was Karen. So I start messaging Karen, hey, we have a veteran at the track. Can he come see the car? So on and so forth. Next thing I know, we're having this partnership with Mike Harmon where they're helping us get vets to the track. Then it goes from Mike Harmon to Lex June through another chance meeting just in Charlotte. I'm happen to be up there with another veteran. We're walking around, and next thing you know, we're having a conversation with Lex. Matt Dotson, who went with me, he actually gets to sit in the car. Lex lets him sit in the car. So again, we just have those conversations. We're talking to Lex and Gert about what we do. They like it. They love it. So much so that Lex changes his top fuel number on his car.
Yeah.
222. Yep, because he could not get the number 22.
Steve Torrance, I think, is who had that number, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, he wouldn't come off of it. But, to see where those two specific things have taken us in motorsports to now where we're in ARCA. Well, actually, we need to back that down even more now.
Back it down a little bit. Yeah.
Carson Brown. We're in dirt, asphalt. I mean, this kid is anything that has wheels on it, this kid is racing it.
Listen, if you guys know who Kyle Larson is in NASCAR, if you know who Kyle Larson is, that kid drives everything.
That is Carson
Brown. This Chris Brown, or God blessed. Carson Brown.
Yeah.
Carson Brown is 16 years old, and this kid is a shoe. This kid drives everything. He was just out running TA2 cars in Sonoma this past weekend. right? And then he's going to
Right.
jump into, I think it's dirt late models this weekend.
So
And
in one weekend, man, if I'm not mistaken, I think he did dirt, asphalt modified, then that GT series, the road course thing out in Sonoma or wherever he was. So he dirt 3 types of vehicles this kid's race and placed on the podium, I believe.
yeah,
And
I think he was, top 5 at least.
Yeah.
But and this, we have to be fair. The Carson Brown Motorsports partnership came about because of GBS Corporation and our social media guy, Riley Benson.
Yes.
Riley has been, if you know Riley, Riley's been around since the beginning. He's a friend, protege of yours. I
Yeah.
guess you'd say,
He's
you're a
been a
mentor,
family
mentee,
friend.
been a family
Been a
friend
family
for
friend. Yeah, forever.
almost his whole life. And GBS Corporation is a sponsor of Carson. And they heard about us and what we had been doing with taking veterans to the track and certain things. And they reached out to us. And you and I sat and had a Teams meeting with them, Zoom call for, I think it was like an hour and a half,
We're on for a
and
minute.
we were on for a minute. And I gotta be honest, Mr. Brown started off naming all of Carson's accolades, right? Everything he's driven, everything he's won. And I just look at him and I go, Mr. Brown, clearly your son is a talented race car driver.
He is very talented. Yeah.
What do you want from us?
Yeah.
And he told us the story of a friend of his that he's known for, I think it was 19 years, he said.
It's been a minute.
And he noticed a change, and that change was not fun, right? We'll just leave it at that. And he witnessed some breakdowns, some hard times, and he noticed that when he invited his buddy out to the farm that they have, I think it's 100 acres, and they would talk to the horses or feed the horses or go fishing or get around the race car or
Yep.
get on the boat on the lake or whatever they were
Yep.
doing, that something happened to his buddy, right? And he would change, right? He would release a little bit of stress. He would come back to that buddy that he'd always known. And he heard about us. And the best part about that conversation was Mr. Brown saying, all I want to do is raise more awareness. I'm not worried about sponsorship. I want to be your partner. Right? How do we do this? How do we make this bigger? How do we get more guys this diversion therapy? Because I've seen what it does. Right? And then you fast forward to this weekend, and we had a vet with us that we have known for 9 years who has never told his story to anybody that we know of. Right? And we're not going to call him out. We're not going to say anything. But that man had the time of his life and was completely
Relaxed.
I guess is the word. Yeah.
It was relaxed.
You and I have talked about my experience at Mid Ohio when you called and said, hey, you need to go get out to the track, and what happened to me and what kind of an impact that had on me. I see the same type of impact, I think, with this veteran from this weekend, where, he let a lot of stuff go and he realized some things about himself and other people. And, I'm just praying and hoping that it made a life-changing moment with him, right?
And it was cool too, because we had never done this. We had never all stayed together under one roof, meaning in one house.
Yeah.
Financially, it made sense. It was way cheaper to get an Airbnb than to hotel it. So we decided, you know what, we're going to try the Airbnb.
Well, let's be clear. We brought 10 people this time.
So there was 8 at the house.
There you go.
There was 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 total.
18 total. Okay.
At the track through either
Yep.
Crystal, Lex, or just people we knew and knew that we were going to be at the track in Charlotte that lived close by, that said, you know what, we're coming. We're going to be there tomorrow. And they show up, and they showed up. And it was so cool because we had one individual that had been with Lex 3 years ago at Charlotte, and to be able to come back 3 years later with his kids, his mom and dad, and to be where he was pretty cool
Pretty
to be
cool.
part of. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So, we still text to that and that Army guy. We still, cut it up, and he's gonna come down. We're gonna do some golf down here, and we're gonna do it. So,
Hey.
it's so simple. It is, and there's no secret sauce to this. There isn't. Everybody says,
No.
"What's the secret sauce?" What do you do? Show up,
Show
be
up.
yourself, have a conversation, share like experiences. Everybody has something.
Everybody contributes something. You might not think it does, but it does. So let's transition. I heard you mention golf. You're going to do some golf down there in the Carolinas. This year we've changed our golf program up a little bit, right? We're revamping it a little bit. And what we've done this year is we've gone out. We actually didn't even have to go out. We had golf leagues that we know about, and we reached out to those golf leagues and said, "Hey, can we talk to your veterans? Let's see how many veterans you have." And you know what? We're going to, yeah, we can talk about this, right? Absolutely. We are going to pay their dues for the year for their league, right? And for that, I think it's 18, 20, 18 or 20 guys are getting their league dues paid, two different leagues. Your league has how many guys in it? 12. Mine had 5, so that's 17. So we got 17 individuals veterans getting their dues paid for the year by Save 22 through community funds, right? That we've been donated. We actually had a donor come up and say, "Here's X amount of dollars. We want you to use it for golf." So
Correct.
you know what? That's what we're doing with it. So thank you to that anonymous donor. We got 17 people.
Yep.
With their golf dues paid for the year, and that's significant for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of these guys are older, right? They're on a fixed income. They're retired. They're like us, right? And some of these leagues cost $300, $400, $500, and let's help you out a little bit, right? So all we ask for from this is proof that you're a veteran. You can give us your social, and we'll run it ourselves. You show us a copy of your DD-214, a VA card, right? Retiree, military ID, active duty, right? If you're still active duty, there's logistics sites and there's recruiter offices and things like that all around. So you know what? If you're near us or around us, or you hear about us, that little website right down there at the bottom, right? Program application. All right, get involved. Yeah. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. One other thing about the golf league too that's important is to know that for our league anyway, for the league that I'm managing, that payment gets them a full year's pass to golf anytime. So that's important to know. For my league, it is.
For your league.
Yes. So with that payment that we took care of, those 12 individuals for the year
can golf at that golf course.
Golf anytime they want. All they think they have to do is pay for the cart. So, there again, we're the longevity of it and giving them a year of, hey, here's what we can do this year.
Right.
Now, next year might not happen. We don't know.
Might not happen, but we're here right now, right?
We're here. This is what we can do this year with the funding. So next year, and this is why it's so critical for people to understand, I hate talking about money, but funding is what keeps these things going, keeps these vets going. There isn't really a defined return on investment for us with this, right? There's no measurable return, meaning you can't see what money's coming back because there isn't
product. There's no product. I can't give you a product. There's no physical. There's no I can't give it to you.
The return for us is seeing those vets at the track, seeing those vets golf, watching these guys and gals put these relationships together, form these bonds. I mean, there's still guys talking from fishing trips that we've done at Lake Erie years ago. They're still talking.
Yeah, right.
The guys at the track, we now all have a group chat. Like Chuck being there to help me out this week was phenomenal. Having him around, and he's very good at what he does. And having him there to be able to talk to other people too. I mean, everybody's doing something, like you said earlier, man. Do what you can do. Do what you can do. That's
Do
it.
what you
It's
can
simple.
do. Look, guys, I had to back out, right? This weekend was a double weekend for us. We were supposed to be down at Talladega with Arca and Ryan Roulette and Charlotte with the four wide. And because of my own limitations, I guess you'd say, right? I have to back out. Talladega is a big track, right? Charlotte's four wide. There's a lot going on. We have the hike this coming weekend. Uh, we talk about struggling. Man, that was a struggle for me. I called you up and I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like I can do it, but cost effective wise, you're looking at, X amount of dollars for me to go do this. And I don't think it's cost effective for us as Save 22 for us to travel to both races.
Correct.
So we're going to regroup a little bit. Ryan was completely understandable, right? He understands what we're going through. Ryan got to run up front. Ryan
Yep.
got to lead the Talladega race. It was absolutely amazing. He got some television time. We got some good pictures with Save 22 on the lower quarter panel. And that partnership right there is with the National VFW, right? Veterans of Foreign Wars. And they bring veterans to the track for every race that Ryan is at. And that's more opportunity for us to have those conversations to check on these guys
Yep.
and gals and
Yep.
maybe share something that they hadn't heard before or get it into their head that, hey man, you know what, you might not think you did anything, but I'm pretty confident that you've done a lot more than 99% of the country has done. So have some pride in yourself. Let's go enjoy ourselves today, and if you want to speak, let's talk later, right? And
And you're talking about bringing people to the track.
yeah,
Karen, she's on here from Mike Harmon. I can't tell you how many times she's texted, "Hey, we have 3 LEOs here. Hey, we have 2 active duty here. Hey, we're bringing the Navy in for this race." And they had 4 or 5 Navy guys from her husband's squadron. Which was really cool, right? To see all these
yep,
things, and that's
yep,
because these partners, Mike Harmon, Ryan Roulette, Lex June, Carson Brown, they all understand the impact that they have, right? And they're just offering a unique experience that the normal everyday fan can't get,
right,
right? And that's all we're
right.
asking for is, let's work together. Let's keep helping people. Let's keep it to where it's manageable, and let's just keep trying to help. And my hope is maybe NASCAR sees what Mike's doing. Had some influence on that this weekend through Crystal, Taylor Kitchens.
Yeah,
She was there
Taylor
with,
with above the yellow line media, right?
yeah,
Check her out,
and
HUIL.
I think she is a drag race fan now. I really do.
She said, yeah, she
um,
texted me and she's like, that's my first time ever, and that was incredible. She
yeah,
got some video of her being right there at the starting line, four
yeah,
wide, and getting
right.
4,400, horsepower, and
So let's talk about that for a
whatever
hot
that was.
second.
Sure.
Watch, originally, Lex is like, well, I can get two to the starting line. All right. Next thing I know, we got 4 hard cards. How'd that happen? Just kind of Crystal said, I took care of it. Okay. So we got to get 4 individuals. The 2 retired Navy guys went, retired Air Force, and his wife went to the
Nice.
starting line. And they just, when that first, 40,000 horsepower, whatever the heck it is, clicks off and your body just shakes. She turned around and was like, oh, like that. And I knew she was hooked. And then,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm just going to go one day and then I'll hang out. Cause my wife and Chuck's wife stayed back at the house. They cooked, they had meals prepared. They had everything ready to go. They did the shopping for the food. I mean, they took care of everything at the house. All we did is we came back, threw some stuff on the grill. Rest of the stuff was done. We broke bread as a family, and it was phenomenal. It
Yeah.
was.
Great weekend, man. Great weekend.
Yeah.
Crystal on here saying she seemed pretty happy. Karen said there's 2 law enforcement officers going to Texas this weekend as well with Mike Harmon. So,
yeah.
Kudos to Mike Harmon, and thank you, Karen, for reaching out and letting us know all that stuff. It's been a phenomenal partnership. I don't know that we'll ever really know how many veterans and first responders have been impacted by our programs, because I don't think we kept good enough records, but
Yeah,
it's
it's tough.
okay.
It's
It's
tough.
okay. We've met some phenomenal people along the way, and I know I say phenomenal and amazing and all these superlatives, but it really is. If you've been a racing fan, a motorsports fan, and you get to go see the pinnacle of everything that we get to go do, or and you get involved a little bit just simply by watching, and you take a zoomed out view, right? You back up a little bit. And I talked earlier with Tom, and I was like, all you can see when you're in your shit is right here in front of your face. You can't see past the end of your truck, right? You're stuck in this bubble. And I think by getting out at the track and seeing something that makes you happy and feeling those emotions and getting that energy again, right? The excitement, the power. Um, I think that's what a lot of us miss, right? I
Yeah.
know that's what I missed in motorsports, and I did local track and small stuff growing up, and then out west I raced the Bull Ring in Las Vegas with Dick Cobb, and super late models and Winston West Tour, and built some cars in the garage, and a little bit of racing for a year or so, and then it kind of fell off. I came back here and went to Midvale for a little bit. Um, wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be, I guess. I wasn't getting out of it what I hoped to be getting out of it, I guess you'd say. And then you call up 6 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever it was,
Yeah.
and hey man, go hang out at Mid Ohio with the Alliance Racing team, and they're partnering with us, and they had a Marine who was the car chief, and I got out of my shell and I got invited back, and then I got hired as a mechanic, and the that started the Straight Talk podcast, right? Because we talked with our friends, and God, I mean, there's so many things that can happen simply by leaving, right? I mean, and that's really hard, I guess, to convey to people that we're just two guys who are willing to talk about our shit and our experiences.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's just all it is. And we want to share what motorsports did for us. We want to share that with other people. And we can't continue to do that if we don't have donors and partners and sponsors. So we do all these things throughout the year. These, and you might think they're little, but they're big for the community, right? These car shows that these guys have us out to, right? And I think you've got like 7 scheduled for the year
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
And um, that's a day's event for us. And um, a couple bucks here and there, and a taste on mineral here in Mineral City, and the Beach City Car Show, and our hike, and I think we picked up a cornhole tournament, right, to go sit at. And look, guys, if you have an event that you want us to come to, or you want us to be your partner in, or you just want to share your sponsorship stuff, right there.
Oh yeah, you got it. You had it. Nope. There
I
you go.
lost it. So save22.vet. And you know what? The other thing too, where's oh, we should have that up all the time.
Yes.
You should be emailing us at tuesdaytalk@save22.vet, right? And tell us about these events. Tell us about these people, these phenomenal individuals, these guys that have gone above and beyond and helped others,
Yeah.
right? Or started their own nonprofit. We'll bring them on, right? Like, let's talk to them. Let's share it. This isn't all just about Save 22 and what we've done, right? Like, we'd love to share that kind of stuff. But Albert, your famous line that I've heard for 10 years from you is, we don't care whose name's on the t-shirt. If you're helping vets and first responders, we want to help you, So excuse me real quick.
Been talking too much.
I did. I got a little clutter bug in there. But we talked about the hike earlier. We talked about it being for 10 years that we've been doing this. And man, I think we have to give a shout out to everybody that has helped throughout the years, right? I don't even know if we can remember them all. There's been so many.
Yeah. So
JR and his wife with
JR
the
and Abby Gallen,
Abby Gallen,
Erica Warner, Debbie Montgomery, Isaiah and his wife with the support in the back, Zach Strine, Marsha
Mark Grimm.
Ullman, Mark Grimm,
Marsha Allman. Yep.
Marshall Allman, Nick Trussell, Jason, Jamie, you, Trisha, Natalie, Chuck, John, Rocco. I mean, the list just Ledger,
Ledger, Matt Bertram. Hey, brother.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you, Matt.
behind the scenes money guy.
Josh Link.
Josh
I
Link,
mean, Tom,
the
Missy.
internet guy. Tom and Missy. Yeah. Well, we
And
had
that's
Tom
just
on earlier.
right. And that's just like the inner working, right? And then you
Yeah.
start looking at like the MC,
Yeah, the
right?
Leathernecks. God, huge shout
Leathernecks.
out to the Leathernecks who are
Yeah.
always helping us out.
Then
Thank
you
you
look
guys.
at Sam Center, and then you start putting these other layers in that come in behind it. The VFW, the American Legions, all these things, all these people that the car community down here, 843 Mopar, Only Ford, Dale Long. I mean, these individuals weekly have car shows. Now they're not all for Save 22. They're not.
Nope.
Some of them are specific for other, and it's fine. But you know, talking about the little bit of money, you know, people need to understand too. $1,000, and we'll be
Mm-hmm.
real. $1,000 down here in the Carolinas will get 4 vets, 4 family members, 4 people on a boat for 4 to 5 hours on the intercoastal waterway fishing. $1,000.
$1,000.
That's it. $1,000.
Yep.
So when you think that, oh man, my event only made $1,200. Okay, well, you've immediately helped 4 veterans or 4 veterans, first responders, and family have something that they normally probably wouldn't do, right? Or may not have the money to do. Well, guess what?
Right. Or even
You
think
just
about doing.
right. Had a conversation just last night about an Army vet that's having some issues. Loves fishing. Balance is crazy. Wasn't sure if he could do it or not. We had some conversations, and you know what? We're gonna go give it a try. He's gonna
Hey,
give it a try.
let's
And
give
he's
it a
taking
shot.
his family, and he's taking his family. So there's your 4 right there. $1,000. You've just helped that entire family have 4 to 5 hours of we can just be with dad on the boat and fish. That's it. That's all we got to worry about, being on the boat with dad.
That's it. So tell me that's not worth it, right?
So again, people need to understand when you think that my fundraiser only made $500, thank you.
Right.
Because
Right.
that $500, guess what? Vietnam vet just got the golf for free for the year because of your
Or
event.
yeah, absolutely. A Vietnam vet gets to golf for free for the entire year. He can spend that $500 on his wife. He can take his wife out to dinner, right? Or
Yep.
maybe he can buy his grandkid a birthday present that he wanted, you know,
Correct.
something to
Correct.
that effect, and still
Yep.
get to go do his golf, right? And get
Yep.
his time for
Correct.
3 to 4 hours a week. I
Yep.
did some math here. The 17 individuals that we paid for, they play 9 holes of golf a week, right?
Yes.
The leagues, that's just the leagues, right? So we'll
Right.
talk about that. So 17 times 9 is 918.
Hmm?
Okay. No, that's not right. It's 2,448 holes of golf for the year that we paid for. For the amount of money that we spent, that is less than $3 per hole of golf for 17 veterans for
Yep.
the year.
Yep.
Right.
And that's just what's scheduled.
That's just what's scheduled, right?
Because
So
I will tell you that I know a lot of the guys that golf in that league, and a lot of those Vietnam guys like to get together before league and play
yeah.
9 holes,
Yep.
or they stay or come another day and play 9 holes in the
Come and
evening.
play another day. Look,
By the way, they get driving range too.
oh yeah, you get driving range. My father-in-law lives down in the villages, and they have access to I don't know how many golf courses, but they're constantly setting up stuff down there. So golf I think is a phenomenal program that we have. Motorsports is a great program that we have, and we're looking at building onto some more. I don't know about for this year, but maybe for next year. Right. So,
Right.
but listen, hit us up. Albert's got to go. He's got a VA
I got an
appointment. So
appointment.
we're going to let that go. Make sure you get down on, I am going to figure that out at some point.
We're going opposite ways.
It's opposite way. So, get on save22.vet, register for the hike. Come out and see us Saturday. Registration starts at 7, ceremony starts at 9, walk off at 10, Duncan Plaza, Massillon, Ohio.
Pick up your
Whew!
shirts. Pick up your shirts. Pick up your shirts,
Pick up your
please.
shirts, pick up your shirts, pick up your shirts. We will not be picking them up at Fully Promoted for you. Joanne was somewhere. I thought I saw her on there saying that she had a receipt that said pick up at the hike the day of the hike. Unless Mike's bringing them, I don't know that
So
I'm gonna have, or we'll get talked to or something. I don't. We'll
yeah,
look into that,
we'll
Joanne.
talk offline.
Yeah, we'll talk offline about that. Actually, just call Mike too and see.
Yeah, I would
Right,
definitely call the store if
call
it's
the
easier for you to
store.
pick up at the store, for
Yeah,
sure.
because I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I know how much I spent on shirts for the hike, and I know how much Albert spent on shirts for the hike. I don't know that I can go and pick everything up and have it there for the hike. That is just way too many. We do not have that capability, right? So please go to Fully Promoted yourself and pick it up. Get a hold of Mike there at Fully Promoted and find out how to get your shirt. I don't think we're going to be able to do that one, but hey, we will have 2024 merch. We will have the sleeveless red, white, and blues. We will have some tank tops for the women. And
We'll
we
have some
will have
covers.
we'll have some cover. We got a couple beanies. We got some trucker hats. I think I counted 50 trucker hats.
There's a
Red, white,
few.
and blue, camo, and gray. I think is what we got.
Yep.
Got a couple beanies, red and blue beanies. We got some red, blue, and gray hoodies with the 10th year anniversary stuff on it. We still have last year's stuff in there. So hey, come on down. Last year's stuff will be reduced, I believe, a couple
Sure what
bucks
they're doing.
maybe. I'm not sure what they're doing. We'll have to talk to the merch committee on that. Who's the merch committee? Oh, that's you. So
Not sure what we're doing with that yet.
not sure what we're doing with that yet. Hey guys, look, you guys think we got it all together? We have a lot of things together, but there's a lot of stuff that comes together at the last minute. All right, it's just the way things tend to work out
Controlled
for all
chaos.
controlled chaos, right? And I think that's why we love it. So thank you for everybody for joining in today. I know we're going to get more views later because we do this throughout the day. Big shout out, big ups to Lex June, who told us this weekend that he doesn't listen live; he listens later. So
So
Lex had some real big. I think Albert wants to tell this story. You want to tell this, and then let you go?
yeah, talk for 1 second. Talk for
All
one
right,
second.
I'm going to talk for 1 second. So Lex has reached out, and this was the first event for Lex, NHRA Top Fuel, this weekend in Charlotte, and it was the 4 wide. And, Lex's motto is never quit. In their very first run, they could not get out of the pits because the car wouldn't idle right. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know what was there, but it wouldn't idle, so they didn't even make it to the track. There's four qualifying runs. There was
Or
4 qualifying runs. The next qualifying run was later on in the evening. They did the burnout. They get down, 60, 100 feet, and the car will not go into reverse. And there's some controversy. There's some sign language going back and forth between NASCAR officials or for NHRA
NHRA,
officials and
yeah.
Lex and the other guys on the line. So they get back into the pits. They figure out the problem. Lex admitted, he said, "Hey, man, that was 100% his fault. A linkage, I think, was loose or would not work or something."
So yeah, they just didn't do the proper warm up, and he would have felt that in the warm up when he put it in reverse.
And he
And
said, "Nope, I'm
they
not
just
going to
did.
wreck my car.
They just had to go. They
Got to
had to
go."
go.
So they come back to run 3. I think they broke loose. It was a 10-second run, 8-second run, 10-second run. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And now they've got one shot to make it, guys. They have got one shot to get into this race, and they did the minimum to get into that race. 2 guys went home, 3 guys went home. I don't remember.
2 or 3 went home. Yes.
But they were the last qualifier, the number 16 qualifier, and they got to race. And an amazing thing happened, and we're not going to say who it was, but a top dollar, top name, high value personality afforded Lex an opportunity to run with some new equipment on Saturday. I don't remember what it was.
It was Sunday.
And
It
it
was
was
Sunday for
Sunday
the
in the
final round.
elimination. It was the final
For the
round.
eliminations.
In the elimination round 1, this individual brought a couple things over that really helped out Lex to get down the track. And unfortunately, it didn't work out on the track, but they did get to make the show. his first show, and I can't tell you how long that he's made. And we couldn't be happier and more proud of that team and their never quit attitude. So when Albert tells me to talk for a minute, I can talk for a minute. Albert, go ahead and tell the story.
So Lex likes to listen when he can, because obviously he's working through the day and he's busy through the day. So he'll listen when he can. He tells us that he listens to everyone when he can on his time. So something struck him from one of our last talks where we were talking about 3 a.m. friends.
We were talking about 3 a.m. friends, yeah.
Yeah. And
you got it? So Lex had these made up just for us. And it's a 3 a.m. friend. And we're going to modify it a little bit.
we are.
And we're going to put Lex June on one side and Save 22 on the other. And we're going to show that Lex June Racing and Save 22 are 3 a.m. friends. We've talked about the 3 a.m. friend, what that means. I don't want to rehash it, but find yourself that 3 a.m. friend, right? When no matter what the is going on in your life, you can pick up the phone at any time and say, bro, I need help me out with this, right? It might not be physical help. It just might be a clarification, right? A change of perspective. Maybe to hear something that you hadn't heard in a while, right? That you just needed reassurance on, or you need to be told you're full of shit. Whatever it is, that 3 a.m. friend, you need to find that one. And mine's sitting right above me, right here, right? And I got a couple more of them, and they all do it a little something different, right? We'll talk about Tim and Cinder when I got fired last year and lost my job, and it turned out to be a disability retirement, right? But I was freaking out a little bit because of the terminology that they used. And Cinder just flat out told me, he said, shut up. You got what you wanted. It doesn't matter how you got it. And you know, that type of a friend, you need that, right? You need that no BS guy, right? But you also need that guy that says, look, man, your feelings are valid, right? You're valid. I'd be upset too. I'd be sad too. That would make me cry too, right? You need that guy too. But you also need that one that says, get up and get moving, right? So find yourself that guy. And if you need that guy that celebrates with you too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When you,
Yeah. Even the small stuff,
even the small stuff, celebrate it, right?
you know,
When Albert had to get his walkalator or whatever the hell we're calling that thing, right? The F-22 walkalator, you need to celebrate that with him. So what did I do? I went out and got a rollator myself, and I said, if you're going to use one, I'm going to use one too. And the people around us will have to figure out which one really needs it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's just it.
Small
Right?
victories.
Small victories. And Annie, hey, Mama Ann, thank you, Mama Ann, for popping in. I really appreciate you coming in. Crystal, Karen, Chuck, Whiskey Pete, man, I'm sorry I missed. I just now saw you, Pete. Man, I hope to see you Saturday morning, my friend. I really do.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Albert, do you have anything left to say? I know you got to get on the road, bro.
No, it's just it's very humbling, man. Yeah. Check out save22.vet. It's rolling across there for all information.
Oh, other way.
Line up on
right
Tuesday
there,
Talk if you've got anybody
Tuesday
or
Talk.
yourself would like to come on and talk. Honestly, that's what it's
Yeah.
about.
Please do.
You know, and then, you know, again, find yourself one of them
Find yourself that 3 a.m. friend, man. You know,
or a few of them.
or a few of them. Absolutely. And you know what? It's okay to not be okay, guys. It really
It
is.
is.
Right?
It is.
It's okay to take a break. Please take a break.
And
Please find that friend.
and I'm gonna leave with one last thing that Lex kind of, you know, left me with as we were getting ready to call it a day. You know, he says, as he's, you know, with his accent and talking to you like Lex talks to you, you know, he's a very passionate guy when he talks.
He is.
You know, and when he says it, he means it, you know.
He means
and,
it.
and
Yep.
if you ever need anything, meaning us, and he can make it happen, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
He added us.
Do we have a picture of it? I don't know if I have a picture of it.
I do.
Oh, there's Karen with the daylight hashtag.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
blessed.
Oh yeah, Karen, I owe you one too. We'll talk later. James got me right away too by by what you told him to tell me. So yeah, thanks for that.
Right
But
away?
you know,
Right away?
it was. He goes, hold on, before we shake hands, hug, do anything. This is from Karen, and gives me a big one and picks me up a little bit, and I'm like, all right. And he goes, and I'm supposed to tell you something like, I don't know, daylight, midnight, I'm not sure. So thank you,
Hey,
Karen.
we'll keep that between us on what that means. All right, Karen. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah, but thank you. And you know, and here's another, and then I do have to go.
Yes, you do.
It's weird because Crystal Thomas, who's on our board and also helps Lex with social media and phenomenal photographer, her grandfather called her Daylight. That was her nickname from her
Oh,
grandfather. So that's why it's called Daylight Custom Photography.
oh, that's so
Because her
cool.
grandpa, and then the whole daylight thing, see how it,
Full circle.
yeah. But anyway, hike, pick up the shirts. Thank you all so very much. Tuesday Talk, email, Save 22 email, anything you guys want to talk about. If you know somebody, send them our way, please.
Yeah, please
And I
send
know
them our
today
way.
wasn't our normal show. We talked a lot of business, but I think we have to do that once in a while too, just so people understand
I
how
think we do.
everything works.
I think we do.
So,
Are you going to still be in town Tuesday after the hike? I don't remember when you said you were leaving.
so Tuesday after the hike, I believe we're doing a blown with the blown smoke guys, another fabulous partner that
Oh,
we work
that's in
with.
the evening.
That is in the evening.
So, hey,
So
do you want to
hey,
do a Tuesday talk Tuesday morning, and then maybe we'll do a satellite with the blowing smoke guys Tuesday night?
that's
We'll talk
very good.
about the hike and everything that
Yeah,
happened, and then we'll
well,
introduce.
yeah, we need to wrap
Let's
up, buddy.
do that. All right, we're gonna go. So I'm gonna talk at you later. Look for us next Tuesday. I don't remember the day. I think it's May 6th. Look for us May 6th, Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Tuesday talk. Hit us up. We're out.